We still believe there's a correlation.
So what does that tell us then about the future direction of either?
Well, we don't look at the direction. We look at it as a risk. And what we think is maybe on Monday what we saw is all risk products sell off. And what it does is sometimes it adds fuel to the fire. So we think about it more as what we have to watch out for, what we have to cauterize, what we have to tell our clients to be careful of. We don't really look at whether it's going to go, we don't make a call whether it's going to go up or down, but that it's a risk in the marketplace. And it's really far out on the risk spectrum. And as risk gets sold, it just adds fuel to the fire. And that's the concern.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Chris, the question now is, do you think the next move higher in Bitcoin is going to be leading the market? Because this is where we're trying to go with this discussion.
So what we do is we bring everything back to equity. So today we raise our price target. We think equities are going to be up 10%. If we're right, what we should see is risk product going higher.
From here, I'm sorry to interrupt you. 10% from here, we're going 10% higher this year.
This year, next 3 to 6 months. So we're rather both. What we looked at is it's all about earnings. Earnings season has been fantastic. Guidance has been really good. When you layer aggressive fiscal policy on top of aggressive monetary policy, it works, and it's working. And so we continue to see EPS numbers go higher. Valuation is looking better because prices come down. So overall, we think it's a very good, the next 3 to 6 months are going to be a very good period. So what we're trying to say with regard to the cryptocurrencies is if we're right, and risk starts to be bid again, you should start to see a bid. It wouldn't surprise us to see a bid in some of the crypto markets.
You got to be a little surprised about the way things have gone down in the equity markets, because we had the least volatile year ever last year. I mean, literally the least volatile. Yeah. I feel like we're driving down the road, we hit a piece of ice, right, and the car's kind of swerving and whatever, and now, so you're saying sometimes we're just going to get right back on the road and go straight. But how do we know that?
So last year was an anomaly. The VIX was shot and run over and shot and run over. What we saw and what Pete and everyone else was saying is earlier this year, what did you see? Stocks up, vol up. What did that say to me? That said that there was more risk in the marketplace. Now what you had last year is you had money chasing performance. I'm going to sell vol, sell vol, sell vol, sell vol. And it works. So you have weaker in hands, and more aggressive people. When vol starts to tick up, then you pay the piper. And that's what we saw. We saw a massive demand for liquidity. We called around, I talked to all our desks, our cash desks, equity cash desks, our derivatives desks, our convert desk. What we saw outside of the derivative market was everyone was saying orderly, orderly, orderly. When you talk to the derivative market, it was not orderly.
What are they asking about Bitcoin
below
right
8,000.
What are the institutions saying about Bitcoin today? What are they saying tomorrow?
They just want to know. They want to know more about what's going on. They want to know about the volatility. They want to know about the correlation. They want to know about the risk. People don't really understand what's happening in that market. It's a growing market, or it has been a growing market, and they're not sure if, at this point, how much they should pay attention to it, and whether it's going to be a systematic risk. I don't think it's a systematic risk, but it is a risk.
When you talk about risk on, risk off, gold doesn't serve its purpose. Is it now being
gold? I know nothing about other than it's shiny and malleable.
Because of the argument that Bitcoin should be worth some percentage of gold. Gold hasn't. In inflation and volatility, it's not working.
Of all the things in the marketplace, gold is the only thing I can't talk about. Gold is the only thing I never had a good opinion on.
Karen, I love your point, though, because gold hasn't moved up. As apparently there's all this fear and terror in the market, but no one's been buying into gold.
Couldn't you say it like this, Chris? How about the fact that the correlation between the idea that people have been trying to diversify their portfolios in some way or another?
Right.
Bitcoin, as we've all talked about on this desk, you don't want it to be 50% of your portfolio probably, but maybe 3 or 5%. And as that continues to grow, that in turn puts Bitcoin that much closer to moving with the correlation of the market itself.
And something else we said, when people ask us, is there a lot of speculation in the equity market? We said, no, there's not a lot of speculation. However, we saw a lot of speculation in the cryptocurrency market. If you want to speculate, that's where you went. Now, as it gets more regulation, you should expect to see some of that speculation come out, more liquidity, a little less volatility, but it's still very far out on the risk spectrum.